Oh, okay, I got you guys in here. All right, we can get going. Okay, let's see. Hi, everybody. Okay, everybody is coming on over. Everybody is coming over. I'll wait for, we had about 60 people over there, so I'll let you guys get on. I am going to drop the StreamYard link and let some of you guys come up, and we're going to talk about, we're going to start with talking about our VP, and Coco brought up a really good point that we did not get to choose. We were told who would be our Democratic nominee. And okay, James, I will talk to him. I think he's having a birthday party tonight, so we'll see what's going on. I texted him earlier. I haven't heard from him. So I want to drop the stream. I want to stay on topic. I want to make sure we're going to talk about Kamala, and we're going to talk about Project 2025. And also, let's see. Also, I was about to, right when we were starting, I was about to talk about how many of you guys have seen the video of let's see, the video of Kamala and her speech, and who knows her favorite thing to say. So Candace Owens, you guys want to get, let's see. Candace Owens and Thomas. Okay, I'll see what I can do to get them on here. I heard that did you guys see that Candace Owens had made some controversial statements about Sonya Massey's passing? Did you guys see that? There was a video that came out, and I think, let me see. Yeah, I guess that she is saying that, I guess they're saying that she was defending the officers. Okay, so we got to get the clip. Well, let me see if we can find the clip and see who is you. And if you want to come on, you have to turn on your camera so I can see you. Yeah, there's a lot of mixed feelings about Candace Owens. I'm just reading you guys' comments about her. Okay, so I'll definitely go over to her channel and see. But you guys are not answering my question. I asked you, did you hear? I have been getting a lot of people who have been talking to me about Kamala's, I guess, catchphrase. And have you guys seen that? Oh. Okay, I'm gonna play this for you guys. Let me see. I've seen a lot of people playing this. Okay. Yeah, I do believe Kamala is mixed. I dropped the yes, Coco was right. Coco, I dropped the link, the StreamYard link. If you want to come up, I think that you had some good points. If you want to come up and give us some feedback. Anybody who wants to come up. Her dad is Jamaican. Okay. Let's see. Hold on, guys. I would. A lot of people say they would like to see Obama. I'm about to play a video for you guys.
Vision to see what can be unburdened by what has been.
Show you some more words of wisdom from the US
And it is with this
unburdened by
can be
what has
unburdened by what has been.
Fair enough.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. You know?
Unburdened by what has been. That sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it?
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been.
I'm sorry. Hold on, guys. I am getting some feedback in my. I'm sorry. I am getting some feedback in my. Okay.
You know, what can be unburdened by what has been, what can
Can
be
y'all hear?
unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what has been, what we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what has been, who we can be unburdened by who we have been, what can be unburdened by what has been, where we can be unburdened by where we have been and unburdened by where we are right now, what can be unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what has been, unburdened by what has been, what can
I
be
say
unburdened by what has been, what can be unburdened by what.
Okay, guys. Everybody has been giving me feedback on that. How do you guys feel about that statement that she says all the time? What can be unburdened?
Happy Friday.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm well in yourself.
Good.
I would like to go over some points for maybe why we should reconsider voting for Trump.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so point number one, and let me know if I am going in and out. But point number one, Trump is the head of a very dangerous far right extremist movement. So you can refer back to January 6th on the Capitol. So his supporters have shown a willingness to use political violence to gain power and to seize power. They have used death threats and terroristic threats against anyone standing in their way or criticizing them. These violent extremists want to regain power by any means necessary. They will lie, cheat, steal, and kill to get power. Once they regain the power, if they succeed, they will not let it go. Many racist groups support him because Trump supports them and their agenda. He has pledged allegiance to these radical groups. They are loyal to him because of this. He is an avowed white supremacist. Do you want to empower them more by electing their supreme leader? Trump will and does empower these people. They are his political base. Point number two is that Trump is a reality TV star. He knows how to produce a show. He knows how to market himself. He knows how to entertain. He knows how to manipulate. He's a professional. He's a professional liar. He knows how to provide distractions and to use propaganda to seduce people, not to take his threat serious. He is performing. He often talks out of both sides of his mouth. Don't be fooled by him. The movement he leads will be against him if they thought he was serious about helping Black people. They know he is lying and saying whatever he needs to get elected. This is why they tolerate his lies. So don't believe the hype he sells. And the last point, point number three, these facts about I just want to go over some facts about the pandemic checks. So don't believe the hype. Congress controls the purse strings, aka the money of the United States. They alone are in charge of the appropriations, the spending of the money. Congress allots the money, deciding who gets it. So the president doesn't and cannot give away the nation's money without Congress. The pandemic was a national emergency. The Democrats were in the majority and in charge of Congress. They controlled the money. The Democrats gave out those pandemic checks. They passed the laws to give out the stimulus checks. The MAGA Republicans opposed giving out the checks. They toothed and nailed against giving out the checks. People got checks because the Democrats were in the majority and could outvote the MAGA Republicans. This is why people were paid. Trump saw an opportunity to take credit and gain free publicity for the checks because he's a professional clout chaser. His signature on the letter was clickbait. Trump knows how to use clickbait and lies to get people
Wait,
to
let me
like.
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. You're saying these things about Trump, but you're saying we should still vote for him?
No, no, no. I was saying, like, for anyone who's considering voting for him, I was this. These are points why you should reconsider voting for him.
So don't vote for him.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Trump knows how to use clickbait and lies to get people to like and subscribe to his bull crap. Again, it was the Democratic Congress that were responsible for those checks, not the MAGA Republicans nor their leader. Don't believe the hype. It's disinformation. The pandemic national emergency is over. There will be no more checks. Unfortunately, the upcoming election is a binary choice. Either one or the other will win. And although the Democrats is not the ideal candidates, Trump's opponent, or the Democrats' opponent, Trump, is far worse and will do greater harm to our people and community. Our legal rights and protections are on the line. So I could just stop right there, but of course we all know that Trump stacked all of the federal courts with judges, and that's why. You see some of the laws being passed, like he have immunity, or any upcoming president has immunity, so they can perform genocide or whatever, and it's absolute immunity. So again, I'll stop right there, and thank you for having me on.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we hear, everybody has their different opinions about Trump. But one thing, I don't know. I don't know, maybe somebody can hop on. I want to know what has just got, if you guys can help me. I've done a little research, but I want to know, what are our reasons for voting for Kamala? What reasons are we supposed to vote for her? What do you guys agree with from her agenda or her platform? I mean, obviously, I haven't seen on the internet a lot of people that are pro Kamala, but I know that there are people that support her because she has raised, I guess, almost $300 million. And she had the largest fundraising day of 2024 with 80 over $80 million raised. So she is definitely has some support. I, but I just don't know enough about what she has done and what she stands for. I see people have said that she's put a lot of Black people in jail, and I just want to know. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Hello? What? Okay. Oh, no. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so why are we okay, let me turn my. Okay, so why we want to vote for Democrats up and down the ballot to stop the MAGA movement that is focused on turning back the clock and stripping us of our rights. When was America great for us? So think about the hidden message of Make America Great Again, the slogan, make it great for who, not us. They long for the olden days when they could legally and without consequences dominate and control us. This was great times for them. So to answer your question, I think for the people that wasn't all the way plugged in, we kind of have to hear what Kamala has to say at the debate to really hear her policy rollout. But before she announced, or they announced that she was going to be on the ballot, some reasons why we should have voted for Biden was because you are not voting for the person. You are voting for your interests. What will serve your interests best? The one you will get the better off under. So you would want to vote for Biden. This was before he said he wasn't, because it's all about the judges. So the legal system can and does touch all of our lives. vote for the court and the appointment of non-extremist judges. Trump will appoint conservative and extremist judges. The next president will get to appoint 1 to 3 more justices to get the Supreme Court and many more to the lower federal courts. Trump already placed 3 of the Supreme Court. Uh, this tipped the court to a radically conservative supermajority court. It is busy stripping away rights like abortion and reproductive health at a record pace. The conservative supermajority will grow to our detriment under the next president unless we put a Democratic president to rebalance the court system. To date, Biden has appointed a record number of Black women and men and other minorities to federal courts and Supreme Court. There was ways to go to counter the record number of conservative judges Trump got to appoint because the Republicans blocked most of Obama's nominees for judges. This left a lot of vacancies on purpose that Trump got to fill. We will need to reverse this. So conservatives want to put in place a national abortion ban and to cut so-called entitlement programs and benefits, including Social Security, food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, welfare. If they are elected with Trump, it will happen. This will harm our people and the poor. Happening now in an ugly preview of what is to come from the radical far-right extremists, stripping away legal and political rights of opportunities for Black people.
Let me ask you a question. Are you reading something?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's
What are you reading?
These are thoughts, so when people come up, it's not like a lot of fillers, like these are points actually by a legal scholar from Howard University. She's my auntie, and so she's a lawyer and a professor, and I asked her, hey, I want to tell people why we should vote Democrat or why we should vote Republican, and these are just some points that she shared that I asked if I could share with you all.
Okay. I wasn't trying to be funny. I just wanted to know what you were reading.
Yeah, and so really this is the last point, but they have already banned, books, restrictions on teaching the truth about history, particularly Black history, restrictions on teaching about race and racism, taking away protections, Voting Rights Act, ending affirmative action in colleges and universities and workplaces like DEI programs, restrictions on scholarships and funding designated for Black people, and venture capital for Black businesses and
Yeah,
entrepreneurs.
okay. Not to interrupt you again. I'm sorry, but it's like you're reading something, but it just seems like a whole bunch of words. Like, do you
there's no meaning to it. Like we need real
Well,
life.
okay. So, in summary, the reason why we should, if you were considering voting for Trump, why you shouldn't is because you can refer back to January 6th. He's a reality TV star. Why you would want to vote Democrat is because it's not about the individual person; it's about the interest. And whoever is elected next.
But why would you say why you want to vote Democrat? It's not about the individual person; it's about the interest. Because what if your interests align with a Republican? You don't.
Exactly.
Well, that's what I was about to cite. If your interest aligns with banning books about Black history, about cutting DEI programs, and supporting abortions, like that's what your interests align with, then yeah, you would go MAGA Republican. But if your interest aligns with stacking the courts with Black women and minority judges, which
it don't matter the problem. People want to because of color. It don't matter what color you are if you're not capable of doing the job. Don't give me a Black person to run my life if they don't know how to run my life.
You have to refer back to the interest of the party. And again, I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to go back and forth with anyone. I wanted to share these points, and if some of them align with you, then cool. If they don't, then But at the end of the day, the last thing I want to say, at the end of the day, the next election is it's either you voted for Trump or you voted for America. If you vote for Trump, there will be no more America. You can see that by the dollar losing its value. The dollar is not even worth what it used to be worth. Again, I'm not here to go back with anyone. If you agree, you agree. If you don't, you don't.
I'm not asking you to debate. I was just asking if you could give us a clearer understanding, because some of those words we don't I don't even know some of the things that you're saying. So I want to be informed.
I feel like everybody wants to vote for Kamala simply because she's a black woman. Simply because she's a black woman. And now that it's going to benefit her, just like with anybody else, now that the black vote is important, now that it's going to benefit her to be a black woman, now she want to be a black woman. Have she been a black woman these last 3.5 years when she going home and laying next to her white husband? No. What has she done? What has she done in the black community that says, you know what, I trust that she's going to speak for me in Washington, D.C.? Absolutely nothing. Donald Trump has donated so much to HBCUs. These are things that I never even knew up until recently. He have wrote down funding for HBCUs that no other president, not even Barack Obama, did. And it's like people talk abortion, abortion, abortion. What do I, as a single mom, care about abortions when I can't even feed my damn kids? Do you think I care about abortion right now? And then on top of that, it's like you got immigrants coming in. They're getting $1,500-$1,600 in length. They're getting free housing. They're getting health care. But yeah, you tell me and my husband, who make, just because we make a little over $100,000 a year, which ain't nothing anymore, that we can't even get Medicaid, we can't even get food stamps, and we barely making it. Like, I don't understand that. I feel like they're not even letting us, showing us what Democratic is. Did we choose her to be our vice president, our presidential candidate? We didn't choose that. That's not democracy. What about we the people? Not one black person, not one American put on the ballot and said, I want Kamala to run against Donald Trump on my behalf. They did that to us. That's democracy? No, they telling us this is who's gonna be your representative. So y'all either pick or y'all pick Trump. That's not fair to us. All she's been doing in 3.5 years is laughing and cackling and playing word studies. She ain't done nothing for the black American people. But now all of a sudden you want to run down to the hood and run to the Essence Fest and go ahead and she gonna do a bunch of fancy parties with the Sarahs. No, nothing. Get the AKAs. They need an AK in the White House for a more competent one because she's not competent to run this country. I can see her Putin standing her face and the Senator Missile way. What's she going? Like, quit playing with me. No. I,
Oh, we can't hear you.
do you know that was just, I can say that's racist? I couldn't find anything. My 21-year-old daughter shut me up, and she is the one who had me starting to think for myself. I've always voted Democratic. Why? Because my mama did it. My grandparents did it. They did it because they was told to do it. But when you start really thinking for yourself, really, what are you voting for? What are you voting for with Kamala? Besides the fact that she's a black woman, and she ain't even a black woman. She's a woman of color, because when she went to Senate, she specified she was an Indian woman. Because you want somebody that looked like you in the White House, it's bigger than that, baby. Get somebody that looks like me and that can step on the necks of these criminals, that can step on the neck of these other countries like me. Then we can talk. Not just so she can say she looked like me. And I'm done. Kayla, I love you. I love you
too. Thank you.
A lawyer, baby, I'm coming for you in any way.
Thank you. But no, I agree with a lot of things that you said. And I not to just tie this in constantly to me personally, but I said a lot of people have voted for people that look like them, and I say, think about all the people who voted for Fani Willis because she was a black woman. Exactly. And now they are upset with her policy and her agenda. And I'm not saying, like, I try to be very neutral on her. I don't agree with some of the things that she's done, but just think about all the people who just voted blindly because she was a black woman. Yep. And now where we're at.
And that's the same thing they doing with Kamala.
Exactly.
That's the same thing they doing with Kamala. They look at it like Obama got in because black people went and voted for him. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden losing against Trump, so we got to use a chess move. We gonna put Kamala in the forefront, and black people come out and vote. They don't even care what she's talking about. They gonna vote for her because she's a black woman. This ain't nothing but a chess move by the Biden administration.
Right. And like I said, I haven't taken a position. A lot of people have asked me, who am I going to vote for? And I don't know if this is ignorant or not, but I'm honestly thinking about sitting this one out because
me too, Kevin. I swear to God, I said I ain't voting this year. I know they say your vote count, but I don't care. 'Cause I don't want to see Trump in there. And Kamala ain't showing me nothing why she should be in there. Because when she was under the Biden administration, like old girl said, what did she do for us? Nothing.
And do you guys know about Kevin Cooper?
I've heard of him, but I don't know much about him.
So one of the things that she's under scrutiny for is there's a young man named, well, he's 66 years old now, but his name is Kevin Cooper, and he was prosecuted under her administration in the district attorney's office. And a lot of people believe that he was innocent. He's still on death row right now. But guys, look up Kevin Cooper. Look up. This is one of the things that she was associated with as a prosecutor. One of her big cases. I want everybody to look up Kevin Cooper when you get a chance.
What state was Kamala a prosecutor in?
California.
Whoa. Oh, wow. Prosecutor in a death penalty state. That
Yeah.
says a lot about her.
Yeah, so he's still on death row. He's been on death row for 35 years.
What was the crime?
The crime, it involved the murder of 4 white people.
Wow.
You have to look it up. It's very interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it. I mean, but in preparing for today to have a discussion with you guys, I see that that is one of the things that a lot of people have placed her under scrutiny for, is the way evidence was handled in that case.
Was it all white cops involved?
I don't know if there were white cop, but what the cops were. I just know it was a murder of 4 white people in 1983. And he has done over 10 appeals. It was first degree murder and attempted murder. And he is still on death row to this day.
I'm sure to look that up.
You got to look it up. You guys have to look it up. So Mimi says a lot of her stats were scrubbed from the internet. I mean, that's why I wanted to do this kind of format today, because I don't know much about her and I want to know what you guys know. Let me see. I keep adding you, Jervelle. That's why I wanted to do this kind of format today, because I don't know much about her and I want to know what you guys know.
Let me turn down this.
Let me see. I keep adding you, Jervelle. That's why I wanted to do this kind of format today.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. My Wi-Fi kept bothering me.
Okay, I'm like, what's going on? Okay, so what do you have to say?
Well, I actually wasn't able to catch everything that you got going on right now, but I could at least tell you that I'm appreciating what you do have to say. You are definitely giving us a different angle to watch and see a different perspective, and I think that's cool.
Well, thank you. I mean, what do you think about the vote? Are you going to vote this year?
Oh, yeah. See, I've missed out on that whole conversation about what you actually had going on. Yeah, my thoughts about the actual vote is it's disheartening, because I really think that we have better candidates that are available than what they're presenting to us. And I think us as American people can really control our own destiny if we get involved with the system more. So if we just sit back on the backside, then they'll just continue to give us what it is that they want to give us. But it starts on the grassroots level. If we really do engage ourselves, we can put the candidate up that actually will benefit us as a whole.
That's right.
But what candidate is it that's go benefit us as a whole that's running?
That is what we need to actually vet. You don't just throw your hands up just because you're frustrated with your choices. You do your due diligence, so actually you can find what it is that you truly are seeking and what is truly trying to benefit you. But no, I wouldn't be one to say, well, I'm just going to vote for the lesser evil. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
You
that's what
want,
I was saying. That's exactly what I was saying. Like I'm in a position where I feel like at this point I don't even know if I can vote. Like
And
and sleep
not
it
just
with my.
agreeing with Kayla, but I feel like Kayla. I think I'm gonna sit this one out.
yeah, and I definitely agree with your vote should matter, and it shouldn't just be willy nilly to you. If you do not feel as though that you're represented by your vote, by all means, don't vote. That speaks more than you voting, and then they assume that you were backing what you were not backing. Did I miss you? Did I lose you again?
No, you didn't lose.
Oh,
I'm following everything
oh,
you
okay. I
saying.
couldn't see Kayla. But yeah, that is the power that we have, and that I think is overlooked by us a lot of times. We feel as though we have to participate to be engaging in the politics, but that's not true. We can actually be just as loud and vocal by being silent
You
because without our support, people cannot get to their goals that they're trying to achieve. But if we just give our support behind somebody that doesn't support us in return, well, that's just ignorant. Well, not ignorant. It's stupid, for lack of a better word. It's just
you
stupid.
you
I
know
think
why
every
I'm
voter
so
should be
big.
informed.
You know why I'm so big on voting, because my grandmother, she, God rest her soul, and we'll be back in the days when she was living, and we'll be like, we ain't voting. She would get downright mad. She said, "Do you know it was a time that black people couldn't vote?" She said, "Get up and go vote." And that's why I got so heavily invested in voting, because she
Understand that.
explained it to us. She's like, it was a time where we couldn't even vote.
Yeah, I understand that, and that makes total sense to me. But in my other logical side of my brain, I'm thinking that my vote should count for somebody that actually is trying to give me what it is that I'm seeking. So for me
Okay,
to just give my vote to somebody that doesn't actually have any of my concerns in their ear or on their agenda, well, that's just like just giving free money to somebody that is not going to give you anything in return.
okay, Star. I I see you on here. I
Hey,
want to hear from you.
hey, Kayla.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. First off, I just wanted to say I love, love, love you. Black girl magic.
I love
Always
you too.
love to see it. So I think the issue is, right, we're just in a position to where those are the candidates. Like we have to just be real. Are we going to have enough people to vote? For I guess whoever else would be on the ticket in order for them to win. We're not. We just have to be realistic about the options that we have. So, me, I was, thinking about not voting, right? But to the point of what the other young lady just said, people fought for us to be able to vote. And then we also constantly talk about felons who are not able to vote. So, once I take all of that into consideration, I'm going to still vote. Unfortunately, the people that we have to vote, though, I just have to pick who is going. I don't want to vote for either one of them. But
Exactly.
I mean, what else do you do? What like
And
that's
not to
what
get
like
too
what's
not to
the
get too
solution?
personal, but if voting was today, who would you vote for?
I'm gonna have to go with. I cannot go with Trump. It's just no way that I could.
Okay, so my dad just made a good point. He's sitting right here. He said, "How come we don't just vote independent?"
But okay, so Dad, if we vote independent, do you think that we will get enough independent votes in order for that independent to win? I think it would
Well,
just be a wasted. It would be wasted votes.
Well,
I
it's
think
still
there's
what
an
you can
independent
sleep with
candidate
at
that is
night
actually
because
worth our attention, though. We
yeah,
do
but I
have an
mean,
independent candidate, and
I
Let's
he
hear
really
from Dad. I want to hear Dad.
bless.
Yeah,
okay,
I want to hear from your dad.
I want to hear Dad. Hey, Pops.
yesterday it was my mom, now it's my dad.
Ooh, the way your mama pray. Oh my
They said,
God.
"Ooh, the way your mama pray." Oh my God. No, he's coming right back. I guess he needs to get camera ready. But so I'm gonna say this about that before he gets on. I never even thought about that. This was my first time. I'm glad I was sitting right here. I just moved downstairs, but my son said he'd been telling me about that. But okay, anyway, so I think that you got to vote with what you can sleep with that night. And if independent is what you can sleep with, it's not gonna matter who's going. I mean, who's gonna win is who's gonna win. There's nothing we can do about it. But go ahead.
Oh, hey, all 100 and something people. I was just trying to eat some dinner and I just ear hustling and heard something. But
You got our antennas up, pops.
well, I'm just saying, if there is a third option, it's not just those two, and it's not about whether or not it's a waste. Personally, and I'm not going to say who I'm voting for or whatever right now, uh, but because I really have not prayed about it, but since back in the Bush days, I came to a point where the Lord kind of gave me a revelation, and I felt impressed to pray and ask God, well, who's going to win? I mean, it's not about really to me as far as voting, because now that I understand that there's probably more people on here than that are Christians, but as far as from a Christian perspective, the Bible gives us responsibility to pray for those that have rule over us, and so we have that responsibility to pray no matter who's in there. So no matter what, uh, and so I was saying that to say I started praying and asking God, who's going to win? Uh, Even to the point where I voted for Bush as much as I didn't like Bush, right? Because I knew Bush was going to win. So back in those days is when the Lord really started dealing with me. And every 4 years I pray, and the Lord shares with me who's going to win. When people were saying Obama can't win, I was like, Obama's going to win. On the second term, I was like, Obama's going to win. Because the Lord had just impressed that on my heart, and I'm like, he's going to win. So that's what I voted for. When, as much as I didn't want to, I knew Trump was going to win when he won. I knew he was going to win. I didn't vote for him though. Oh. I just didn't vote. I just decided. But I knew he was going to win. I knew Biden was going to win. The Lord. I'm telling you, if you're a Christian and you have a relationship with the Lord, he'll reveal and he'll show. And so, yes, there's people who, who's going to be in office that we might not like. The reality is, there's not one candidate, not one, who really, as much as a lot of evangelicals talk about, this is God's servant. No, it's not God's servant. Trump got.
Well, Pops, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Camilla?
I really hadn't thought about it yet, to be honest with you. So, I know things that just recently happened, and I hadn't put that much thought in it yet, just with what's going on. I said, I want to hear what she got to say. And then do a little bit of research. I was just telling my wife the other day, because I keep hearing people say something about her putting thousands of people away. But then I had came across a TikTok where a guy was talking about that he heard that but didn't do research. When he did the research, he found out it wasn't thousands of people that she put away.
Right. And so somebody said that a lot of her stats have been scrubbed from the internet.
I would caution everybody to do research and pray, and see what the Lord is saying, because that's the key. Because whomever is going to be in there, the reality is, especially as believers, no matter what that situation is, when we truly have a relationship with God and we understand that, it doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what happening. We're from a different place. The Bible says that as Christians, that you're a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people that should show forth the praises of him who called you out of darkness, right? It says that we're strangers and pilgrims. This is this world is not us. It's not about what's happening in this world. As far as we're concerned, we have a purpose and a destiny that God has called for us to fulfill. And I don't mean to be preaching, but uh, but I mean that's the reality. So that's my mentality. That's where I come from uh, with it all. So whoever gets in office, my my uh, my assignment is to pray for that person and to pray that God's kingdom come and God's will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Because there, whoever get in don't have the answer. So many people thought Obama for the black race, and he gonna do this and that. He wasn't the answer, and none of them are gonna be the answer.
Mm-mm.
There's things that is going to play out that we don't like. There may be some things that we do like, no matter who gets in. Uh, I mean, I don't really like Trump. I'm just being honest with you. I don't really like him, but the reality is, I think if he get in, the economy is going to be better.
Right.
Uh,
I don't know, Pops. I keep hearing people saying that the economy is going to be better, but I think a lot of people fail to realize that all that money that he gave away, we're paying for it now.
but it's going to activate the economy. People won't be
Well,
as afraid
I
as
think it's going to act, and I apologize. I don't want to, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I do believe it will activate the economy, but I also think with that activation, it's going to come with a lot of other, rhetoric,
Well,
Repercussions.
I would
racism.
say this, that this is kind
But
of one thing that I want to talk about today. And if Trump does win, I definitely think that Project 2025 is going to come into play. And that's what I wanted to about today, because everybody kept asking me about Project 2025. Do you know what that is, Star?
so I've been seeing a lot about it, like just the little bullet points that's been going around online, but I haven't researched it, so I don't want to, fully speak to it. But from what I have seen, that's scary. And I think the lady who was up here talking about,
Haley,
she didn't care about like the abortion laws and all of that stuff. I'm sorry, but I think that was really ignorant to say from a woman who says that she has a 21-year-old daughter.
mm-hmm.
Um, so when you hear that type of stuff, that's scary, and that concerns me a lot.
Yeah, and so with the Project 2025, it is definitely very interesting. And if that, I guess if that is implemented, from what my understanding is, it means that whoever the president is will pretty much have control over everything. Um,
Do you know when they actually started implementing that program of 2025?
um, I think they started implementing it in 20. Well, I think it, from my understanding, it started from the Reagan administration in 81. And then when Trump was in office the first time, um when Trump was in 2016, I think they started to develop it more and more and more. And then now the 2025 is, it's like pretty much, I saw somebody put in here in the chat earlier, it's like one of Trump's favorite books, but it's very similar to a dictatorship. um if the 20 Project 2025 is implemented, it will be an entire federal bureaucracy and would streamline decision making, allowing the president to directly implement policies in a number of areas. And so it will pretty much eliminate the checks and balances that the Constitution has put in place.
As a defense attorney, I have two questions for you. Well, someone who has, I know that you practice different things, but A, how do you feel about that? Like, I want to say I read something about giving police officers full immunity. Like, how do you feel about that?
I don't agree with that at all. I mean, and the it's crazy to me because Coco had me go look at you can, and guys, if you want me to see your question, utilize super chat so I can see it, because the chat is moving really really fast. So You can do super chat or you can DM me and I'll try to get back to you. But I'm not ignoring anyone. So with the I mean, because I'm just gonna go back to Sonya Massey in this situation. Imagine if he gets full immunity, and I think that's what a lot of people are upset. Coco, don't get
Talk
mad at
about
me, kill me. I'm gonna go and watch the whole clip, but I think that they were mad at Candace Owens for saying that police are humans too, which I do agree that police are humans too, but it it doesn't give you the right to just headshot someone in their kitchen holding a pot.
Right. And then even him being, I guess, like a felon himself, like, how do you feel about that? Like,
I'm sorry, you sound a little muffled. What'd you say?
I said, even him being a felon now himself, how do you feel about that?
Oh yeah, I definitely wanted to talk about that. So my whole thing on that is that if he's allowed to be the president and a felon, I have so many clients that can't get jobs because of a marijuana felony conviction, or even here in Georgia, a misdemeanor. Yeah, felons can't even vote, but so it's just so funny. He can't even vote for himself. So we're talking about voting. Trump can't even vote, but
Right.
um, even just the repercussions of felonies and certain misdemeanors. Because here, if you get in Georgia, if you get a battery, family violence, you lose your right to possess a firearm. Um, but I think that it's extremely it's unprecedented, but I don't think a black felon. I mean, they barely wanted Obama to be president. They said he wasn't all he had to do to prove that he was a citizen.
Exactly.
yes, indeed. Our felonious status is used against us, but his seems to be embraced.
Right. And
Yeah,
that's a part of the problem that I have with a lot of people that come up and say, well, what is Kamala, or however her name is
yeah. I
pronounced?
can't say her name either. I'm sorry.
Like,
I'm
what is she gonna do for black people? But I feel like a lot of people fail to realize, like, even she was talking about, well, me and my husband, we can't even get Medicare or this or that. I think the bigger issue is, and please, I've been on it all, welfare, da 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 da, been through it all, so I'm not judging. But I think the bigger issue is, as a collective, as Black people, we need to discuss how we can be put in better positions and stop depending on the government, because the government ain't helped nobody. It ain't helped my parents. It ain't helped my parents' parents. So we kind of need to shift away from that way of thinking, in my opinion. Like, we can't just keep screaming like, well, what's she gonna do for Black people? What have any of them really did for Black people, if we being real?
So that should be where we start. That's our starting point. Who's going to do something for us?
We gotta do something
I
for
know,
us.
I know, but that's the way that we already are anyway. We are doing something for us, but there should be a candidate that we actually can throw our support behind that is actually supporting us as well.
Another thing I want to say about Trump is that a lot of people think that if Trump is voted into office, that we're definitely going to be going to war.
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know. In my mind, I don't recall him actually starting anything while he was in office. So I don't really have the notion that leads me to that conclusion. But
Really?
well,
Even with the January 6th stuff, you don't think, even if it's not a war with
well, it
another
was
country,
Civil
I
War.
think it'll be a war
Yeah,
within
yeah,
here.
yeah.
It'll be a war
Civil
here
War.
amongst
Oh
us.
yeah, oh yeah. But that is a burden that we have to wrestle with as us being Americans. There should not be a war because we disagree with one another, fellow Americans. That they call it banana Republican or banana republic. Well, that is indicative of a banana republic, but we are not. We are America, which we consider ourselves a beacon to the world for how things should be ran and be ran justifiably for the citizens' benefit. But I mean, if that isn't what's occurring, it is in our best interest to stand up and rise. So if that's necessary, then let it be what it is. And America will still stand stronger with that confrontation, that internal conflict. But outside, oh no, there's not a country that we would divide ourselves about defending ourselves from. No, if somebody is bothering us, by all means, we will as Americans come together. But we have internal conflict that we cannot sweep under the rug, and it needs to be addressed. So whatever comes from that conflict, let it come, but by all means address it so we can move forward as a nation. As a nation, we are all one, truly. I
Right.
was in the Navy as well, so I put my sweat and blood behind my comments. I love this nation, but I am also in return looking for this nation to love me back.
Exactly. Um,
Mm.
okay, so I want to move on to this. I mean, this wasn't planned, but I definitely want to talk about Boosie. Um, I cannot believe that they recharged Boosie with the same crime that was just dismissed. What do you guys think about this?
I
I
can
didn't even
believe
know that
it.
that was even.
I'm
Go ahead. I
sorry.
don't. I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I can believe it. I think Kayla, is he charged in Louisiana? Is that where the charge initiates from?
I don't. I thought the charge initiated. I know it. No, I think it initiated in California.
In California? Because I really
Yeah, it
honestly
was.
I
It was in San Diego in May 2023. So he was shooting a music video when they saw that he had a firearm or whatever in the video, and so he was charged on a state level. The state level decided that they were not going to move forward with the charge, and as that case was dismissed, the feds then picked it up. However, about 2 weeks ago, that case was dismissed based off of a case law that said that what how they had indicted him, the charge they had indicted him on did not apply because he was a non-violent felon. However, 2 days ago, the federal prosecutor uh, filed a new indictment with 2 counts for the firearm again, and also for, I guess, having controlled substances with the firearm. So it's a new indictment. I don't think he was in charged with the
with the
drugs the
substance.
first time. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly think, has anyone done any research on who the DA is? Because I think I feel like he being targeted at this point, but I also feel that it doesn't help with some of the stuff that he's went on social media and said about the case. Like sometimes I think if you kind of already know they got like they after you, then just stop talking about it. Like it got dismissed, leave it alone, move on with your life. So I think
And this
it's
is what I'm saying. What
unfortunate.
has Kamala said about has I could be wrong, I could be wrong because I'm not on the internet a lot, but what has she said about this and what has she said about Sonya Massey?
Oh
This is
yeah,
happening right now. What has she said? I mean, what has Trump said?
nothing.
Nothing.
I haven't heard no statements from either party about it. I could be wrong though, but I haven't seen anything.
I think you're accurate.
And these are things that it's just we talk about all of these in-depth issues, but on the surface, I mean, this is a national issue, and we don't hear either one of our candidates even send their condolences to the family.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think also, and I really hate to bring this girl up, but I think when you have people like Candace Owens going online and saying, no, the statistics really say that more white men are killed at the arms of police officers, not black people. Like when you have people spreading that narrative and then I just think that that plays a part too. Mm.
And yeah, and then even back to the Sonya Massey situation. I mean, I just found out last night. Did you guys know that a few months before this, that one of her young cousins had been killed by the same police agency?
Really?
Mm-hmm. A child.
Wow.
And
And
also,
he was discharged too, right? The same police officer. He was discharged from the army or the navy, one of them.
and he has these, also they're saying that he has these tattoos that tie him to these racial organizations. And I don't know which organizations, but a lot of people have been calling out the tattoos that are being passed around. And it's just like, when does it stop? When is there a level of accountability for anyone?
When we press the issue to a point where they cannot ignore the issue. And that doesn't just come from black people. That's what it means to be a society that is in control of itself, because we are those that are electing those that govern us. So if we actually take the power back into our own hands, it may take more than one election cycle. It may even take more than two, but the power still lies with us because we elect them.
I mean,
Kayla,
yes.
question, and this may be too personal, but you as an attorney, like, how does your like friends feel about your stance of not voting?
I mean, I haven't made that decision exact yet. I mean,
Okay.
this is all happening so fast, but at this point, I mean, I haven't really talked to any of my friends about this. I haven't spoken to any of my attorney friends, should I say, about it. But I mean, everybody is kind of in a state of disbelief.
Mhm.
And so I don't know. I haven't heard anybody say, well, let me take this back. I've heard a lot of people say that they're going to be supporting Trump in Fulton County because, and I definitely can get with this. I'm not even going to lie to you that he, and you guys will know who I'm talking about when I say a lot of people, but these are just regular people that he can relate to what their family has been through as far as going through a RICO and a trial and being charged in Fulton County. And they feel like that they can have trust in him more than anybody else because he's relatable to them and he's relatable to what they are going through right now.
Hmm. I only asked you that because a lot of people, like friends that I have, like they are really just, if you don't vote for Kamala, don't talk to me no more. Like we are in a urgent state and everybody needs to, vote like for her. And so I was just wondering if you kind of got some of that feedback too. I typically tend to not talk about political stuff, because it can
Yeah,
become too much.
I haven't heard anyone say that they're voting for her, to be honest.
Have you actually heard any pros to voting for her outside of the fact that they are claiming that she's a black woman? And I know the power of women, so I do know how women can come together for an agenda for one another. But outside of the womanhood, have you heard any other pros to her presidency?
I haven't yet, but I am still researching, and that's why I wanted to get on live with you guys today to see if maybe you could inform me. Like, I see multiple people saying that she called the Harris family, and I tagged that, pinned that, because, like I said, I just don't know. I spend so much time in court, and then I come and try to get on live, and in the meantime, I'm trying to figure out what's going on and have enough information to have these conversations with you guys, but I miss a lot of stuff. I miss a lot of things. But I have not heard anybody with a lot to say about her. I just haven't.
Yeah,
Samantha,
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Samantha, she's still on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, I can really name some other candidates, not presidential candidates, but other political senators and Congress members that are actually doing pretty good things for their constituents. But as far as them being brought to the forefront as a presidential candidate, I haven't necessarily seen the support for them at all. But yeah, I don't necessarily see what makes her be the forerunner, other than for the fact that she actually was the vice president. So that's like the natural progression. If the president can't do his job, well, she's the replacement. But if that is the only thing that we're using for our litmus test of the individual that we allow to run as our representative, well, then we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot. It's like, well, what would we expect if we're not even giving a contest to those individuals that are vying for the position?
Samantha, you had something to say? Samantha? Okay, I see this. I want to know if Biden would have still been in the race, would you guys have voted for him?
Oh no.
I mean, no, I was still. It's like I was still even concerned then.
Yeah, I was still concerned. I think this is the last thing I want to say because I want to allow, of course, other people to come up. But about this economy thing and the tax thing with Trump, we got to be real. What Trump is going to do as far as taxes, it's not going to benefit the majority. And so I really wish people would kind of like really take a deeper look into that. It's not going to benefit the middle class or lower class. It's going to benefit the wealthy.
Yeah.
And so I'm not quite sure of what, unless I'm missing something, I'm really not quite sure of why people keep bringing up that point as it relates to Trump, unless they are wealthy people. They could, they could really be wealthy and, but it's not going to benefit middle class or lower class people.
Amen.
Samantha?
So they not going to benefit. Right, that tax code is vicious now. Exactly.
Amen.
Samantha?
Can you hear me now, Kayla?
Yeah,
Right, that tax code is vicious now. Exactly.
we can hear you.
Can you hear me now, Kayla? Okay. Okay, there we go. So I was just going to say, as far as the comments from earlier, I wasn't saying I don't care about abortions. I was just saying that in the state of the economy we're in right now, I don't. How can they expect me to care about the things that are really important when we are struggling because of this economy? But yet you have all of these immigrants coming in, and they're coming in and living better than our veterans, than our homeless citizens. They're bringing immigrants, and where are they dumping them? Into the African American neighborhoods. They're not dropping them immigrants off in the Hamptons and giving them benefits. No, they're dropping them right off in the hoods. They're dropping them off in our neighborhoods. That's what Trump meant by black jobs, because they're taking those jobs from those peoples in those neighborhoods. We know our country is built on immigration, but there has always been a process to vet these people and to make sure that they're doing things the legal way. If I have to do things legally, why can't they do things legally? I'm just so angry that we only matter every 4 years. Every 4 years, it's all about the black people. Now we're on the stage front, and now they want to trick us with this. Put the first black woman in the White House.
Yeah.
They only want her there so she can be their puppet. She can be their puppet. She can do whatever they tell her to do. They know they can't tell Trump what to do. He's not going to do what they tell him to do. He's not going to do it. But she's going to be a yes ma'am. At the end of the day, she's going to be a yes ma'am.
What? Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think one of the issues with getting like another, like she had to kind of be put in the role because the funds that were,
No,
um,
to be, because
oh,
they
correct
were
me.
in Chicago at the Democratic convention.
Mhm.
They could have for someone else.
It was my understanding that the funds had to be, they could only be rolled over to her, like the campaign funds. That was
Yes,
my
that is
understanding
true.
of it.
What you're
Okay.
saying is correct, but
Okay.
that is
Thank you.
only what the funds that were generated from the Biden and the super.
Did you just see in the they just made
that is only what the funds that were generated
for the Biden Harris ticket. Exactly. It wasn't a lot. For the Biden Harris ticket. Exactly. It wasn't a lot.
I think you're lagging.
All I know is she needs to quit playing in our face. You haven't been a black woman in all this time. Don't try to be a black woman now, especially going home to your white husband.
So I got a question for you, Samantha. If she was white, would it make a difference?
There you go. Let's see what they say. What you say?
No, I mean, I'm just really asking seriously because
Yeah,
at
that's
the
a
end
good
of the
question.
day, if he would have had a white VP, a female white VP, and this same thing took place, would that change anything? Like,
That
I
is a good
really,
question. Yeah. Yeah, because we can't play the race game. We trying to gain and get ahead, and racism doesn't benefit us. So we need those allies that are willing to get in the dirt with us to move forward as a whole, as well as us to get in the dirt with us to move forward as a whole. So yeah, I mean, if color is not an issue, then it should boil down to agendas, you know. So yeah, if this wasn't, I wouldn't care if she was a black woman, a white woman, an Asian woman. If the woman has the agenda that actually is answering concerns for us, then I think that we should give her an ear. That actually is. I know how America is, though. It's going to really be a hard pill for America to swallow to elect a woman as a leader. And I was speaking with my daughter just yesterday. She's a 27-year-old black woman. But I was telling her, baby, the only way that America will actually get behind this woman is if she actually picks another woman that has already had governorship, you know, and there is a few different women. I think there in total are 12 governors that are women in America. And I think maybe 6 are black, but race is not an issue. All she needs, because she's never had governorship over any state, so that will actually bolster her record and her ticket by having somebody that actually has governed over a state. You know, so that being said, women, and I know this is not a good thing. Y'all might crucify me for this, but women have a lot of power when it comes to this, and y'all actually have this bond that is it's unbreakable when it comes to womanhood. Y'all really will get behind women more so, and y'all, I don't know if all y'all realize this, but it's more of y'all that are voters than it is men. So y'all really can get her in if y'all get behind her. But that being said, that's the only way that it will work in my eyes. And as I was sharing with my daughter, I don't see men supporting her to the point where she could win. But I do believe 2 women on the ticket. Oh man, y'all got this. When I say y'all, I mean America is still a part of y'all, but yeah, womanhood, y'all got this one. Y'all can't be stopped if y'all support one another, you know. And she picks the right candidate. Oh yeah, y'all got this. Because Trump is really not a hard candidate to beat. He's just better than Biden was, you know, but he's not a hard candidate to actually address. He has so many flaws, but he actually has a real supporting cast, and people love him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
at this point, it's just a matter of we really have to.
You really have to what? Oh, I think we lost her. Can you still hear me? Kayla? It's your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi messing up. I'm sitting, I'm sitting here thinking that it was my Wi-Fi. Maybe this give me time to get my weeds. Uh-oh. Okay, we stop if y'all support one another, and she picks the right candidate. Oh yeah, y'all got to. Because Trump is really not a hard candidate to beat. He's just better than Biden was, but he's not a hard candidate to actually address. He has so many flaws, but he actually has a real supporting cast, and people love him. Yeah. At this point, it's just a matter of we really have. You really have to what? Uh-oh. Am I still going? I'm going by myself. Well, let me hold the show down. I'm sitting here thinking, can't anybody see me? But oh no. Am I still on her? Well, okay. Well, let's talk about Trump, fellas. I say to myself, oh, we deserve better. That's what I would say. We deserve better. Us as Americans are not deserving what we are receiving. And they're giving it to us because that's what we are accepting. Now, stop it. I was just talking to my homegirl, my little partner earlier, and I told her, you change your mind, you change your reality. So that is applicable to us as well as a nation. If we change our mind, we change our reality. We don't have to deal with our reality being.
Sorry, y'all. My internet went out.
Oh, I'm sitting here just trying to talk, and I had it going. I was still
I know
going.
you're doing good. Well, I was actually about to get off anyway, but I want to let you guys know on Tuesday, I'm going to be going live at, is it Tuesday? Yeah, at 7 p.m. And I will be having my financial advisor on, and she's going to be talking about life insurance, financial planning, budgeting. So I hope you guys come back and get your questions ready. She has been doing my financial planning for quite some time, and she has really changed the game as far as setting up for myself up for my future and for my children's future. So I know we're not always going to talk about political things and current events. I want to be able to give you guys information and resources that our community doesn't normally have access to. So we will have her on. Her name is Patricia Haynes. You can look her up. She does my financial planning, and she will be on here Tuesday with us at 7 p.m. And we can talk about stocks as well. A lot of you guys, I don't know how many of you were on. Okay, rest in peace to your dad, Coco. I don't know how many of you were on when Derek was on with me, but a lot of that's what he does. He does a lot of stock trading. He actually taught me a lot about trading and stuff like that. So I hope that you guys get on and we can have some good conversations on Tuesday. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on with me today, and I'll see y'all on Tuesday.
Tuesday, you said at 7?
At 7 Eastern time.
Okay. All right. All righty.
Thank
It was
you.
a pleasure. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Good night.
Yep.